Hey everyone, Hans here, daily update number 3. Missed a couple this week because, as I said earlier, this week has been a little bit hectic. Been traveling, went to Madrid in one day and back again to get my passport renewed, that type of thing. Luckily, I was able to work in the train, which was great. But yeah, time for today for a quick update. I only have like 10, 15 minutes and then I got to run because we're going to the circus. So that's exciting. So yeah, let's not waste any time and dive in. There we go. So I have this NOCO, no CCO, whatever, BCA drink, which has like a little quick shill, not a shill, like a quick promo. Has like 180 milligrams of caffeine, which I think is like 2.5 cups of coffee. But I'm enjoying it. I used to take it before really heavy workouts or sporting events, and almost got a little bit hooked on it. Ordered a tray full of that stuff. Trying to cut down on my caffeine. So yeah, now you know how that's going. But I can definitely recommend it for anyone looking for that type of a drink. So active campaigns. I just got off a call with a team, and turns out that that number is really far off. So we currently have like five times, for like 5 times that amount of campaigns running. There are a couple of reasons why that isn't in here. One of the reasons is because the ClickUp API is flipping awful, horrible, terrible. What else can you expect from a company that has David Sachs as an investor, right? Um, and So we've been trying to work around that. It's been a nightmare, and that combined with us sometimes forgetting to add campaigns um, to ClickUp as well. So we have campaigns that are in Smartly, but not in ClickUp. So then they don't get taken into account for the analytics. Now we found a fix for that where we're going to have a form that just pretty much handles everything, and where we create a campaign from ClickUp and it will automatically get populated in Smartly with like the sequences and everything. Because we started working with some copywriters, which has been a pretty big bottleneck here. Like before I joined, I haven't been here for that long, but before I joined, it was when I was doing like my own agency type work. It was a bottleneck. It's just something that I always procrastinated on as well. So having copywriters has been a game changer, having access to them. So it's just a matter of them writing the emails, us getting it into a ClickUp form, which we then have an automation, or I will set up an automation that puts that into Smart Lead, back into ClickUp, and the analytics should be better. So you can pretty much 5x every number you see here. I already said last week that those numbers look very much off to me. And yet, turns out I was right. So, sending around, like, let's say 40, 50, maybe 60,000 emails per day, which makes sense because we're sending a little over a million per month, I think, or let's say around a million per month. So then yesterday, let's say we did like 55, 60,000 ish emails. I have no idea what happened here. Um, but yeah, that is very interesting. So I'll investigate that a little bit. So around 25 positive replies, you can probably double or triple that number, taking into account, the campaigns that weren't tracked. So pretty decent week altogether. Like obviously, just like with everyone, like for some clients, we definitely want to see things improve a little bit. Whereas with other clients, we're pretty happy with where things are. Quick bit of caffeine, and maybe I should get them as a sponsor. But that's always going to be the case. We're obviously working as hard as we can to get to a point where for every client we can get results. But that's like an ever like a never-ending battle, pretty much, and like that's part of the fun of the game as well. For some clients, going really well. For others, we want to test different things. We just want to make sure that as early as possible, we have as many tests and things going out, so that as early as possible we can determine what works and then scale that. That's the plan. Then something I was working on is TEM scoring. So that is something that we're going to take a bit more serious, just because data has become so cheap, right? So data should never be the bottleneck. So pretty much you can get like a lot of data, just get it from Apollo, really, really cheap, and then start scoring it. You can use that. We can use Clay because we're on an enterprise plan, so our data is pretty cheap in here as well. But you can use like external APIs as well and get pretty cheap options for temp scoring as well. In this case, checking if how many enterprise sales reps a company has, how many AEs they have, and then if they have enterprise sales reps and they have AEs, account executives, then we want to get the company description, and then we want to see who they're targeting in terms of actual job titles, and then we'll add a couple other things like customer support roles, that type of thing, on top of the scoring model, and then we'll use the Clay scoring model to see which accounts we should be reaching out to. And in this case, these are already contacts. So also on a contact level, there's going to be scoring where we want to see, how much affinity they have with the product that we're looking to sell. In this case, ideally, this is something we can set up as a template, which probably isn't always going to be the case because each company, now I'm saying, so we're setting up a lot of templates internally for like trigger scoring, so you can see, okay, who started 6 months ago, or in the last 6 months, and like last 3 months. Okay, great, that is trigger number one. Then trigger number two would be, okay, which account raised funding. If you have that and you layer the scoring on top, then you can get really close to being able to say, okay, these 1,000 people, they're great because they just started. They come from a role where they used to do something related to your product, and they have a certification. They have a HubSpot certification. So, if you're selling a HubSpot plugin, then great, something like that. That's the point where we want to get to as soon as we can have that type of in-depth scoring, so that we're able to have much better performing campaigns. That's what we're working on now. Pretty exciting stuff. Like, I'm a big nerd, I guess, for getting excited over that. So that's the campaigns. Then I did release one video that, well, it's not in here because no one commented on it yet, which is kind of sad. So go and comment on my videos. My latest video, which is an exciting one around building competitive intent data, sort of, where you scrape your competitors, their LinkedIn activity. And that's just something that I think is great because you can put it on repeat, have that running in the background. There's another thing that I'm a little bit obsessed with, I guess, just having things that you can like set and forget. So there's one that you can set and forget. There are a bunch of other things, and that's definitely something I can recommend anyone. And it's something that surprises me whenever I talk to sales teams. As an agency, I understand it's really hard, but as a sales team, there are just a bunch of campaigns that you should always have running, and you can set and forget them. And then they're like, sales teams ask me, okay, what works best? This, or that. We want to try everything, and I'm just thinking, you know what? Just try everything, and what works, find a way to just fully automate that, set that, forget about that. There you have 5 to 10 leads per month coming in from that one because it works. And then usually they're saying, you know what, with the LinkedIn activity, okay, that will only get me like 1,000 people per month to reach out to. That's not enough, okay, but if you have that running in the background, it's great, right? That's always going to be there. It's always going to bring you some leads, and it just gives you some breathing room to then say, let's focus on other stuff that we can do more manually, and then maybe later automate. And then that's just a bit of a ramble about where my head's at when talking to sales teams. So if you're working for one single company, you're doing sales outreach, then there are certain audiences and campaigns, like trigger campaigns, that you just want to invest a little bit of time to set them up, automate them, and have those running. And that should get you a couple, like at least a couple of calls per month. That's already, in a lot of cases, going to get you really close to hitting your quota. And then use the time that you just want to do manual prospecting and that type of thing. So that's what I'm thinking around around that. So for the comments, let's see. I didn't respond to Speed Spree Dolphin, Spree Dolphin, Spree Dolphin. I don't know. Didn't respond to you yet. So appreciate the comments. So that prompt structure works well for talking about potential company specific pain points. I agree. Um, it's the pro about commercial cleaning where we generate cleaning ideas. I see that you run a manufacturing company for shoes. You must have these issues where shoe materials on the floor, like it will generate something like that, more specific. Um, and he, Mr. Spreedolphin, appreciate that, and I agree. So as that, then will be interesting community. So yeah, like I tried to Slack community in the past. It's just really hard to to keep up with it because some weeks I'm insanely busy, whereas other weeks I'm not that busy. And I feel if you have a community, and I know I mentioned it in the last video because it's just something that I would like to have, but to actually have it and have it be good enough, not sure about that. So I'll give it some thought on how, what type of thing I want to set up for people who want to learn more about, doing the stuff that I'm doing. If you have any suggestions, if you're saying, you know what, a course would be great, a community, or I don't know, then let me know and I'll see what I can do. But I appreciate the comments, guys. Then and I appreciate that you like the format. Updates on the house. Yeah, you know what? That's gonna take a while, but you got to stay optimistic, right? Let's get our kid to school first, and then um, send a lot more cold emails, so we'll make more money, and we'll take it from there. But yeah, that's what I had to share for today. I did a little bit of fun. Well, I wouldn't call it fun. I did a bit of a workout this morning because being a young father or father of a young child, you don't always and having work and all that. And like I said, today we're going to the circus, which is pretty exciting. But that means I get to work like your regular hours, sort of 9 to 5 ish. For me, is more like 6:30 to 4:30, but with a break in between. So I wake up early to go and work, and then help my kid go to school and all that. So I worked at home today because I didn't have a lot of time. So what I did was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So a dumbbell snatch, a single arm dumbbell snatch, which well, dumbbell snatch. If you don't know what it is, look it up. You do um, so you do the dumbbell snatch, then you do a burpee over the dumbbell, and you do it with your other arm. You do another burpee over the dumbbell. Then you do two dumbbell snatches, two burpees, two dumbbell snatches, two burpees, three, three, four, four, etc. And then you go the other way. And then I did two sets of that. So that was warming up. And again, this is not a huge workout. I'm not in great shape, but it's just a quick workout that I did at home to make sure at least I do something because I was traveling this week. In the train, it's pretty darn hard to work out. So I only did sports two, maybe three times this week. I honestly don't even remember. And the plan is to go and run on Sunday morning, or maybe do sprints, one of the two. Then I did 47 pull-ups, strict pull-ups, tricep push down with elastic that I put on the pull-up thing. And I need to obviously train my triceps because, well, summer is coming, but also for high rocks where there's the ski erg, and you need your triceps for that with, with endurance and strength and all that good stuff. Then Russian, well, you know what? I'm not going to write Russian with a capital letter because F them. Russian twist, I think is the correct name. Did a set of those, and then I think they're called up and over. So basically, because I only have a single dumbbell, so you get the dumbbell, it's a shoulder workout, and hit your triceps as well. So you have it here, and then you go up and over to here, and then you're it's basically this motion, and then you switch hands every now and then. So the four sets of those. Um, and then the idea was to run like 2 3 kilometers at max speed, as in as fast as I can go, um, per kilometer, but I ended up only doing one, and then I was flipping gassed because I'm not sleeping enough. I'm lucky if I get like 5 hours per night, so my endurance isn't all that. But in the end, I did 1 kilometer in 4 minutes 40 or 38, 40, something like that, which is not great, but it's not terrible either looking at where I was like 6 months ago. So I'm not unhappy with that, but definitely not happy. So we'll be working on that. But that was my workout this morning around lunchtime. Um, in case anyone is interested. So still prepping for High Rocks. There's also some other stuff. I've been training MMA, kickboxing, etc. for a while as well. I sort of want to take that a bit more serious, which is tricky to combine with all this. But either way, if I pick that up again, at least I'm going to be in better shape by doing this type of stuff than I would be by sitting on the sofa. Um, so yeah, that's where I'm at. I hope this was at least somewhat insightful or entertaining for everyone. It's a weekend now, so I'll try and have this up on Friday. If not, we'll be up on Saturday, and then we're back on Monday. Have a good weekend, everyone. See ya.